Hi all, my name is Holly Formosa from Comms Class, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Amy Broadfoot on the topic of search marketing and SEO. I'm going to say let's get even more technical and dive into some of the technical aspects. I would say that most of the people who follow Comms Class manage their sites on platforms like WordPress and Squarespace and Wix. So tell us about SEO on these platforms. Is it built in? What's the sort of baseline there?
Yeah, so WordPress typically has the best reputation for SEO because it is so customizable. There's so many plugins that you can play with. Squarespace and Wix didn't, particularly Wix, it had a very bad reputation for SEO for a long time, but all of those have really come up now and they're all quite similar playing field. Same with Squarespace, there is a lot of ways that you can plug it in and put your keywords and your metadata in there. So all of them are fine. The easiest tactic for a small business is have that empathy with your customer and go, what is that language that they would be searching for? And do I have that language in my website? And often we see businesses talking in a type of jargon that their customers aren't. So as long as we get that lining up, straight away we're starting to optimize their SEO there. You don't need to worry about plugins or, whatnot. That will definitely help. But putting those keywords in your website to start with is really important.
Okay. And that was my next question, actually. If you can tell us, what are keywords? Because it's something that's thrown around a lot when we're talking about search engine optimization and content marketing. And if I'm a business, how do I know what keywords are important to my business and should be, I guess, throughout my content on my site?
Yeah. So keywords are literally the words that people are typing into search. And those keywords, there's multiple places that it's good to put those keywords in a page. So the headline of the article, the page title of the page. But in terms of how you think about it, so there's so many different ways to do keyword research, particularly if you're a large e-commerce website. This process can take days and every SEO person has their own process. But the easiest thing is, again, empathy. Just take a bit of a guess of what is it that your customer would look for. If not, another really quick easy tip is to create an AdWords account. So that advertising PPC that we talked about, and they've got a keyword research tool that you can play around with and find out what people are searching for. That data is going to be biased. It's going to go towards more the sales action orientated e-commerce keywords. So, but it's.
Can you send us that link and I'll publish it in the blog? That'd be really helpful for everyone, I think.
The keyword.
Yeah, that'd be great. And so probably one of the most common questions I get asked when I'm consulting is, how can I rank on the first page of Google organically? Typically the businesses I work with, they don't actually like the idea of having paid campaigns on Google. They think it looks a bit, especially restaurants, they think it looks a bit tacky and not very credible. And they're really interested in, appearing for a search term, for example, restaurant Fitzroy. If they're a restaurant in Fitzroy, that's the sort of term that they're really interested in ranking for. Any advice on that?
Yeah, it's a big one. Look, if Google and SEO was easy, we'd all be sitting on yachts right now with margaritas. It's not meant to be particularly easy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So to give an overview, Google looks at over 200 different factors to rank a website, and these factors are changing in importance all the time. And so some of the things as examples, they go, well, is the website does it load fast, because we all have nano attention spans. So we want to engage with websites that are fast. So they'll preference the faster websites. Then they'll have a look at, is it optimized for mobile? We want a good experience on mobile. Is it a secure website? Does it have a really good user experience? Does it have that keyword like restaurant Fitzroy somewhere in it or multiple times within it? And then does it cater to that user intent? And so that's where content comes in, is when people are searching for that, are you the best possible answer on the internet for that term? So maybe not restaurant Fitzroy, but a good example might be how to make a cloth mask, which we, might be thinking about at the moment.
Yeah.
Your answer has to be the best possible answer globally in how you make a cloth mask. So you've got to think, maybe I do this as a piece of video content. Maybe I have a downloadable PDF with instructions to it. What is the best answer I can give that keyword search term? Anyway, going back to restaurants, so that is local SEO optimization, and that in itself is a niche competitive field. That's a tough term to rank for. So for them, their Google My Business page is going to be really important. So they need to set up a Google My Business, which gives them that dot on the map.
Yep.
Getting on mobile. You'd want to have quite a lot of information on there. So you'd want to have lots of images that are there, all the fields of information filled out. And very importantly, you'd want a lot of customer reviews, very genuine one. Don't ask all your friends to, suddenly do 5 stars within a week, because Google will go, lots of 5 stars in reviews in a week, looks a bit sus. So look at getting those reviews up in a very genuine, honest way. And then, as I mentioned before, Google looks at over 200 different factors. One of the crowning jewels of their algorithm is how many inbound links, so how many other websites go, link to www.fitzroyrestaurant.com. And every one of those websites that have a link back to that original business, it acts as a vote of confidence, those inbound links. And it's like, you're cool by association. So we rate this website here as being cool and trusted and authentic. And so that's where, very long answer, that's where PR and social media comes into it. Because when you gather that PR, you're often getting those high quality inbound links that go, these guys are cool. And so we want as much quality PR coming in as well as social media shares. So if people are sharing stuff that goes back to that restaurant, all of these signals feed through to Google to say, this website is popular, trusted, legitimate, obviously people are engaging with it, so it must be good. So all of those signals come into it. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to do at all.
It's really interesting around the PR, because that's my background, and I feel like a lot of people, when they think about PR, they think about credibility, third-party representation. But you're right, PR has a role to play in inbound links, and so it's really important, I guess, if a business is engaging a PR agency, that they're thinking about that and maybe thinking about the types of media outlets that might improve the credibility of their website by association. And it's something they should probably discuss with their PR agencies too, isn't it?
Yeah, really good point. So one thing that when they talk to a PR agency, go for that brand positioning and that good exposure to their target market. But another thing that they should probably ask for is, can we have a handful of digital publications that we can get that inbound link from as well? So a nice mixture of all of those things being hit, and that will definitely help with SEO. And so with a link, inbound link tactic, what you want to do is get links from websites that are within your industry. So it's your peers saying, this is about hospitality, and we've got links coming from other hospitality. So you're building up industry relevance there. And then the second is, you also want links from really big websites. So something like Broadsheet or The Guardian or whatnot, because Google goes, that's a serious, link that you got there. You must be very credible. So you want a mixture of those two things going on.
Perfect. And in terms of, so we've covered social, media relations. What about blogging on a website? Does that help? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So what's a good example to use? So maybe if we take a camera brand, for example, and we want to attract new budding photographers that are just getting into the hobby. We'd want to, on our homepage and our e-commerce pages, we'd have the very sort of product orientated keywords. So camera, buy camera, buy EOS, whatever now. And then on our blog, we want what's called all of these long tail keywords or search terms. And these are ones that are to do with the topic, but they go into much more niche things. So it might be, you might want to write blogs on what does EOS mean? What are some black and white photography tips? And all of these things people are Googling, you know, black and white photography tips. What does EOS mean? What's the correct aperture setting? So again, it's coming back to that empathy of what would our audience Google? What are those questions that we can answer? How do we become, you know, the most useful resource for that industry as well, for the customers? And so you'd want a mixture of those sort of SEO questions that people are asking, as well as your brand positioning content, your brand communications, all of that. So you want your blog to tap 3 or 4 different marketing outcomes. So the brand comms that you would do, and then some SEO stuff. Perhaps you get a list of keywords from an SEO person and you look at how you make it as sexy and interesting as possible, because some of the keywords by themselves are boring. So, yeah.
It is something that you recommend businesses do, because a lot of businesses don't do it.
Yeah, so even just, you know, top 10 tips, best of, what does this mean? Every business owner has their level of expertise that would really come through in a blog with that type of stuff.
And if businesses want to speak with you about search marketing, are you available for consulting? How should they contact you? What's your advice to get in touch?
Yeah, so I actually have 2 brands that I guess I work under. So there's my This Is Human agency, and so that's for enterprise level clients. I also do a bit of work with small to medium-sized businesses through my amybroadfoot.com website. I do quick little 30 minutes or 1 hour consults if you want to book them in just for a quick chat. Or we can do, you know, the whole inbound strategy of the PPC, CRO, SEM, SEO, like all of that stuff that we do as well. So amybroadfoot.com or thisishuman.com.au. Yeah,
amazing.
I think that's it.
Thanks to everyone who has joined, and do get in touch with Amy if you have any queries, because she obviously knows her stuff and will be of great help to you. Thank you so much for your time, Amy, and we'll say goodbye to everyone now. Bye.